Thailand's former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra is under house arrest. She was detained a day after a military coup which the army insists was necessary to restore peace and order. And in a show of force on the streets, soldiers quickly dispersed protesters who gathered to demand elections. Veronica Pedrosa has the day's developments from Bangkok.
Where is Yingluck Shinawatra? These are the last pictures recorded of her car as she arrived to report to the new military government as ordered. A senior military official informed Al Jazeera that she'd been detained but then allowed to stay at her home under military supervision. An army spokesman on the record would only say she was being held but treated well, pointing out that 150 personalities from both sides of the political divide were being detained.
We just want to, give them some time to think over of the issue so that they can be more relaxed, and we look after them very well, VIP treatment, and it would not be very long. They will be set free.
They were held when Army Chief Prayuth Chan-o-cha decided they could not agree on a plan to end the political crisis and that the military should take the place of the government.
I can say that it's not easy for him to do this. And we can, from then until now, we can see that it's not quite well prepared before. So it's an unprepared coup that he just decided to do it.
Still, a few hundred people did protest, this time against the coup d'etat. Soldiers and protesters stood off for several hours. Up to then, the military had been conspicuous by their absence in the capital.
Troops remain in place, armed and visible, even though this is a major intersection in the heart of Bangkok's commercial district, and the protesters have already left.
It's the start of the first weekend since martial law was declared and the coup was launched. Thailand's 67 million subjects may take the opportunity to express their concerns about the future direction of the country. Veronica Pedrosa, Al Jazeera, Bangkok.
The US has suspended $3.5 million, or around a third of its aid to Thailand. The military coup has also been sharply criticised by other nations. Indonesia's foreign minister said his country is watching the situation with profound concern. Japan described the coup as deeply regrettable and urged an immediate return to democracy. And New Zealand has condemned the detention of Thailand's political leaders as unacceptable. Well, Saksith Sayasambut is a Thai political blogger and journalist, and we can speak to him via Skype in Hamburg. Good to have you on the programme. Let's just start with that issue of the detained political leaders. An army colonel told Al Jazeera that Yingluck Shinawatra had been put under house arrest. Do you know anything more about this, where they are, what's happening to this, 150-odd political leaders who are now in detention?
Well, with that many people, it's kind of hard to keep track of all of those people who are where they're now. But concerning the former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, there are actually local media reports saying that she is not at her home, but actually detained at a military base in Saraburi province, which is north of Bangkok. Same goes with her inner circle of people, which is her sister and her brother-in-law. They're also being kept at military bases elsewhere in the country.
Yeah, this is a worrying development, isn't it? I mean, there's been a few protests as well against the military coup in Bangkok and Chiang Mai. That's despite martial law being in place. Do you think this takeover could actually further divide the country instead of bringing peace and order, as the army chief says?
I absolutely think that the military coup is only exacerbating the political tensions. And the protesters we have seen today in Bangkok and other parts of Thailand, while they are just very small in scale, but they're very deeply emotional. And they're actually just a taste of what could come in the next few weeks, depending on what the military junta is going to do next.
Well, the military chief has said that political reforms are needed before an election. That seems to suggest that he is at least planning for an election. What are you expecting in the days ahead?
Well, the thing is that he is insisting on reforms before elections. That has been the mantra of him. That has also been the mantra, ironically, of the anti-government protesters. That is which he is echoing right now. And what he has, one of the announcements that the military junta has done today is also to restructure the administrative system, under which 3 military officers are overseeing all 18 ministries and directly reporting to the military chief itself. So this is a clear indication that the power structure is now being stiffened and strengthened, and probably for the long run. But then on the other hand, what also another possibility would be is that the military will try to get a appointed, in quotation, neutral prime minister in order to, as I said, bring in the reforms what they think are the right reforms, and then eventually have in the near future elections.
Just very quickly, Saksith, we know what the international reaction has been from some countries. The US has suspended some military aid. There's been condemnation from some other countries. How will the Thai military respond to that international pressure, do you think?
Well, the military aid that has been cut by the U.S. is just $3.5 million compared to a military budget that Thailand has of $5.4 billion. That's just a drop in the ocean. What could probably really hurt Thailand in the long run, what the international response would be that would hurt Thailand, is if the international community would refocus their attention to the neighboring countries and away from Thailand, and that may or may not bring the military generals to reconsider what they have done.
Good to speak with you. Thank you for your thoughts there. Saksith Sayasumbutt speaking to us live from Hamburg.